Yeah, you are now live. Yeah, it's Lock West in the morning, Dash Radio, the spin room, you know what it is.
Hey, yo, what it do, party peoples? It's your man, Bigg Pwee from the spin room. We back at it again on this Friday, this Feel Good Friday, man. I hope you guys are all enjoying your day. I got my spin room crew in the building. Let me bring everybody on in here so we can get this Friday on the way. My ride or die, my right hand, my girl Big Les in the building. Miss Everything J Tasha, plus K Stephanie in the building. DJ Ron C, he's somewhere I think he might be in Belize right now, J Tasha. He might have left you. I don't know where he at. You know what I'm saying? He may be DJing somewhere. I have no idea. But ladies and gents, you know how we do. Before we start, right down below, need you guys to subscribe. Click on that subscription and then click on that bell, because every single day, Monday through Friday, we post a brand new video, okay? And we want you to be part of the Spin Room family. So make sure that you know what's going on with us. Also, we're on all podcast platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and Anchor. Please share and subscribe to those outlets also. All right, man, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm pretty excited. I know the whole entire crew is excited for this one. All right, man.
No
this guy, this gentleman, and I have to put his wife in here too, but the accolades are all the same because they're intertwined on everything that they have done. So this gentleman here started at Morgan State University, later New York University, where he graduated. He is, like I said before, he has numerous accolades underneath his belt, along with his wife, NAACP awards, a New York literary award. He is a writer, director, author, producer. You've seen plays like Tell It How It Is, Man, Fabric of a Man. He's seen films like First Sunday, Baggage Claim, Almost Christmas. And now we're going to sit down with him and his wife to talk about their new project with Netflix. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise and give it up for David and Lyn Talbert. Woo!
Oh.
Yeah!
Yeah!
In the building.
Woo! You have no idea how excited that I am to have my family here, because first of all, I know that they are intertwined, like you said, Pee Wee, but on their own. They are so creative, so magical, so accomplished. Like, seriously, what people don't know is Lyn has like produced national sold out theater plays across the country for years. Executive producer on Baggage Claim. She is an author. We're going to get all in her business about the books that are about to blow, and producer on this new film, Jingle Jangle. I'm so excited. Oh my God. And then, of course, David is my guy who gave me a huge, huge opportunity to be a part of their play, Fabric of a Man. But we all know that he has been having sold out plays across. He's one of America's most beloved playwrights. And then hit you on the screen, like you said, doing his thing. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love them, because as human beings,
We love you back.
amazing. Amazing.
Love you back, Les.
I mean, I wish during this time we can all be in the studio and give each other a hug, because I feel the love in the air right now, man. This is such a beautiful thing. And in my intro, I even said, you two are intertwined with one another. It is such a beautiful thing. I just want to say this is such a beautiful thing to find someone that you can marry and spend the rest of your life with, and you guys are on the same exact page. You guys love the same exact things. You know what I'm saying?
I've just been beaten into submission. It's been
22
years. Yeah, let's just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I first got married, I'm like, I'm running shit. I can make up my own mind. I can pick up my own clothes. I can do what I want to do. But 20 years, I'm beaten into submission. I just want to be able to sleep on the other side of the bed with this beautiful woman right here. So, you know, whatever she says, Mom, whatever Mama says goes, and that's how we roll.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There you go. He still got a smile on his face too.
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so let's jump right into it. The first and foremost, I know you guys, since social distancing and everything that's kind of going on in the world, it's pretty crazy. How have you guys? I mean, because we're going to get into this Netflix thing that you guys got popping off, but how do you guys keep things moving during this global pandemic? How's everything moving for you guys?
Well, we were in post when everything hit. So we had to keep going. It's crazy because I would have to say, to do a movie of this magnitude from your home, going through CGI characters and visual effects from your home, is crazy. Looking at going through music, from the choreographed numbers in the film. So for us, it was a little bit different because it didn't stop. We had to figure out a way, to work it out and keep it going. Plus, I'm doing virtual school at the time, because being a mom and a wife, it doesn't stop, and you keep going even after you're working. And, cooking because stuff's shut down and, no more like assistants. Can they go grab some food while we're working and all this kind of stuff. So we had to just come together and do the best we could to figure it out and we were figuring it out because it was new for everyone, not just us,
Right.
To try to see how can we get there, make this the best it can be despite the barriers. And, we didn't even realize that it just really ended up being the perfect timing for everything. And because we're used to working with each other and being in close proximity with each other, unlike a lot of people who were like, I don't even know you, that part was easier, but we definitely had our challenges. But I feel like we came on top. What you think, David?
I think so. The pandemic will test a relationship out. You just can't love somebody during the pandemic. Now you got to like them. Because love ain't gonna get you through these close quarters. Love will get you through when you can take your ass out to the corner, get you a drink, hang out with the boys. But you gotta like somebody. And I love and like this woman. She's made me better at everything I've done for 20 odd years, and better writer, better human being.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So shout out to that lady.
I feel a movie is something coming out of this pandemic. And
hey, that was gonna be my next question, Les.
Has to be a comedy.
My next question.
No, absolutely. But let's tell everybody that we know David's going to have to be going really soon. So before you do, just a little bit about your journey in regard to your transition from playwright to film director to now big scale, big movie, Hollywood, some of the trials and tribulations you've had to face, as well as your creative growth throughout.
Well, it's just, you gotta keep evolving is the thing, because I have to keep evolving and keep pushing the boundaries so that people, next generation coming behind me will have, something to continue to reach for. With the plays, we blew them out as much as we possibly could. Then it was time for a bigger canvas, which was film. And then, I love those films that I did. But then it got time for a bigger canvas. And I was telling, I was telling my friends and everybody I was doing a movie. Lance, you were with us in London, so you know what we were. You came and hung out with us while we were shooting the movie.
That set was magical.
Yeah, but I was telling my friends that I was doing this movie. I was doing this big musical, and they're like, "Oh man, Dave, good for you, man. Dave doing one of his plays, probably. Man, it's gonna come out here. Good for him." And when they saw the trailer, my boy Bootsy texted me, "Oh, so like they gave you a budget, and then one of the other boys said, "Oh man, good for you, man. You like this like a real movie now."
A movie.
It's not a real movie. I've done 5 real movies, but to answer your question, you just keep evolving and keep trying to push the limits and the boundaries of what you can do creatively. And with Netflix, the biggest hurdle is for somebody giving you the budget to do it, the resources to do it. You can have your imagination, but if ain't nobody financing that, it stays in your head. But Netflix put their money where their mouth was, and they knew that it was a need to normalize us in a different space, in a world of wishes and wonder, which is what we're doing in this, and to put people of color in places where you wouldn't have normally seen them in this world, this magical big ass world. Right. And so shout out to them. But you know, it's what when we were doing the plays, we kept trying to push the envelope with the plays, and then the movies kept trying to push the envelope, and now here we are on the biggest stage with one of the biggest original films that's been done by, you know, someone of color. So just thankful to have an idea and for somebody to write the check for it, you know.
So let's talk about it then. Jingle Jangle. How did the concept come up? You know, who wrote it? How did you guys cast everybody? And because I mean, this is a phenomenal cast that you guys have here. How did it all come about?
Well, I started writing this about 20 years ago. I was going to do it as a play. Started around 97, 22 years ago. That's when I first started playing. Les, I've been telling you about this for a long time. Oh, yeah. And I was going to do it on the stage, and then I kept starting and stopping, and then Lyn came with the idea a few years ago about doing it as a film, and that's when it kind of took off. You know, we had just done a film, El Camino Christmas, over with Netflix with Tim Allen and Jessica Alba and Vincent D'Onofrio and some other folks, and then Netflix liked that, so they invited us in there just for a general meeting, and I told them about this idea. And so it's been kind of, you know, marinating, you know, it's just like a pot of gumbo. You don't eat the gumbo the same day. Now you can eat the gumbo the same day, but it ain't gonna taste as good. It's got them seasonings, it's got to lock in the flavors, and that's what it did. It kind of marinated for 20 years. And Forrest, I've known Forrest for a while. We've been trying to figure out something to do together. And when it's time came for this, I needed a classic actor, someone on the Mount Rushmore of acting, someone, you know, who could ground this character and keep it from becoming a caricature. So it would live on, you know, it would be iconic, like Willy Wonka, like Caraticus Potts, like Mary Poppins, like Dr. Dolittle. You know, then you would have Geronicus Jangle. And so there was only one guy who could play that, and that was Forrest Whitaker. And so went down to New York with him to talk to him about the film, and we were eating, you know, he only eats vegan stuff. So we were eating in there, and, you know, I was trying to order some ribs or something kind of anything pork. And he's like, you know, he kept before says, you know, they don't serve pork here. It's a vegan place. And I said, well, do you got some hot wings or something like that? The waiter says, David, it's a vegan place. They don't serve meat. And so we talked about the film, and he asked me, so you want me to be in the film? And I told him, I don't just want you to be in the film, I need you to be in the film. Because I need somebody that I can respect in front of the camera, but someone I can lean on also behind the camera, because he's a brilliant director in his own right in his career. So, and I need a big brother on the set. And that's what he was for me on the set, a big brother who had my back and allowed me, trusted me with the keys to this Maserati of his craft. And he handed me the keys and he let me steer it. And so, you know, from Phylicia Rashad, which was Lyn and I's first choice, to Keegan, our first choice, to all the other people that we got a chance to discover in there. But we wanted to have an eclectic group of folks, people from different worlds that you'd never seen together in a film. And I think we accomplished that, because the film's on fire, you know, if I do say so myself humbly.
As you should. As you should.
Yeah, but the trailers are usually just, you know, trailers are usually better than the films. And they put everything that's good in the trailer. But I'm telling you, we ain't scratched the surface. That trailer ain't scratched the surface of what this film turned out. So very, very proud of it.
Nice.
So I have a question. You mentioned that you've done plays, big budgets from small budgets. Out of everything you've done, which one is your favorite and why?
Well, they're all, I mean, for me as a creator, you know, I was going to say, when people have kids, you don't really have a favorite, but yes, they do. Everybody has a favorite. You know, grandmamas have favorite. Now, baby, grandmama love all her grandbabies. I can't stand that one. No, he is the devil incarnate. You know, but they can't say, they won't say that publicly. But yeah, there are some of them that were the devil and productions, but each of them, the thing I love about all of them is I learned something from each of them, and I grew from each of them. And Lyn and I together as partners, creative partners, we each one taught us something, and some of them taught us what to do, some of them taught us what not to do, which is as big of a lesson and a blessing when you know what not to do sometimes than you know what to do. So they were all stepping stones and building blocks. And you know, when this film comes out, you know, a lot of people are going to say, well, shit, it's an overnight success. But that's been one hell of a long night. Right. And we've been doing this. I've been doing this since 1990 when I wrote my first play in the Bay Area. And then when Lyn and I met, my seventh play, she's been doing it for decades. So, you know, this is kind of the culmination of everything we've learned in life, in art, the people we've been blessed to meet that have helped elevate the ideas, and here we are.
So Lyn, let me ask you a question, because David just said this. You guys are both creative partners. You guys are in this together. Is there anything that when you guys sit down and you guys have to have this business conversation, is there butting of the heads? Absolutely. But now with the butting of the heads, when you guys come home, how do you guys deal with it now at the house?
Well, I mean,
a comfortable couch.
That too. The really
yeah, some nice pillows. I imported some pillows from overseas. They put that nice international feathers, some international feathers, birds from South America in there. Right. So when you sleep on that pillow on the couch, oh, you can get you a good ass night's sleep. You know?
Well, look, to be honest, like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. You know, I don't want to, you know, cause a ruckus, but, you know, to get the greater good, you know, it costs you sometimes, and you gotta say the hard things and make the hard decisions. And we've had to do it on both of our parts. You know, he's had to pull my coattail on things, I've had to pull his, or we're just trying to make something better and we're fighting to get it there. You know, we're chipping away at it from both sides to get it there. And, you know, being his wife and knowing him so well, but also, you know, being the producer and all of that, I care about how he's affected by these things because it affects him as an artist as well. And he's so amazing at what he does. I don't want to take away from any of that, but I have to do it because I know that we can grow from it. You know, and he'll do the same for me. So as far as, we certainly have our moments, and we've had our times where we don't want to talk to each other on set, and we don't want to, you know, we don't want to deal with certain things. But at the end of the day, when we get out of our head and get out of our feelings, we realize we both want the same things. And that's the bottom line. You know, we want the same things for the project, we want the same things for each other, you know, we want the same things for our careers. And, you know, once we get back to that, we're back on track again, you know. So that's the real deal of it all. We are, sometimes we have a finite time to make a decision or get things done, and we're dealing with things like that, but we just address it and move on. And you know, once we really I feel like it's getting a little bit easier and better, but the bigger the project, the tougher it is. And this was a tough one, you know, but it's a bigger reward. And to be able to use everything that we've ever done and ever learned, and to finally have it really be reflected in one project is unbelievable to me, because it's like, you know, we've been doing theater for years, and now you see, you know, the songs, the choreography, a period piece, the casting, you know, original music, you know, his writing, his directing, the cinematography. It's like all of these things where we have this full circle moment of everything we've learned in this one piece. So, you know, we look back now, we're like, what, you know, why were we arguing about that? Or why were we tripping about that, you know? And we laugh because, you know, like he said, it got us here and it got us to this project.
I love it, man. I mean, I'm going to keep saying it though. I love what you guys have, man. It's such a beautiful thing. And I love, you know, the fact that, it's black magic, as I would call it, man. I love it, man. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay.
You made a movie a couple years ago for Sunday. Can you share a story with us? Because you have like the best comedians on that movie, like Cat Williams and Tracy Morgan. Can you share a little bit of a storytelling within that experience of being with all of them?
Tracy Morgan would come in every morning. First they would come in every morning. He would say, "Somebody's going to get pregnant today." Now, you can't get away with that now, but this was every morning. Tracy was like, he would look through the hair and makeup. Who in hair and makeup wants to get pregnant today? Every morning. And so there was a scene in there where he found out his birthday, and it was written in his script where he was going to cry. So he would come in the morning and he was like, today I'm going to cry because all real actors cry. Richard Pryor cried. And so this was all day he was like screaming about how he was going to cry. And he tried to get the scene. I said, you ready, Tracy? He's like, yeah. I said, I'm going to cry. I said, and I told him, I said, he had, when we were auditioning, him, when Cube and I were auditioning him, I asked him about his relationship with his mother. And he said, you know, well, the relationship is estranged, and everyone knows that. It's public knowledge. The relationship was estranged. And he said that he hadn't seen her in a long time, and he hadn't spoken with her in a long time. And you know, but he wished things would get better, but he's not sure if they would. So when it's time, so I held that in my back pocket. I said, he'd be perfect for this role there, because we tap into some of the emotions. So he was like, you know, Richard Pryor cried. I said, no. I said, Tracy, I said, you can't, emotion in a film is not the act of something affecting you and you crying. Emotion in the film is something affecting you so much and you try as hard as you can not to cry. The emotion is so much that it causes you to. And he said, and I said, so just imagine how you felt when you were a little boy, waiting for your mother to come for Christmas. And I said, action. And Loretta Devine started singing to him, and I saw Tracy thinking about that. And I said, go back to that little boy from where you are that age now, go back to that little boy. And I yelled action. And I saw him starting to travel back. And by the time Loretta Devine sung Happy Birthday to him, he was welling up so much, and he did not want to give that emotion up. And the tears just started coming down. And I yelled cut, and we ended up using that whole first take. We only did one take of that. The take in the movie is the only take we took because it was perfect. And he got up and he walked away. And I went to his trailer just to check on him. I said, you okay, Tracy? He says, I just called my mother, and I told her you missed out on a real actor.
Wow.
But that's the thing that makes you such an incredible director, is being able to have those conversations with the actor that helps them to transform on set and give you what you need.
Well, the thing about comedians are some of the best actors, and Tracy delivered one of his best performances on film, and he's brilliant. Tracy's brilliant. but comedians are some of the best actors because there's such a fine line of comedy and tragedy. And the great ones, they walk that very delicate balance between tragedy, and they find the humor in what's tragic, but there's something always bubbling up underneath them. And so I always like working with, love working with actors, with comedians in dramatic roles, because they always give me more than I could have expected. And Tracy Morgan, Lyn and I were at his wedding. Well, it's getting a divorce, but I guess it's not the happiest thing. But we were there when times were good. You know? But yeah, it was a blessing, and that brother is so very talented, and it was just a blessing to work with him. And Kat and Ricky Smiley, and Red Grant. I mean, they were all up in there.
Yeah.
You know?
Is there any actor or actresses right now that you have your eye on who you want to work with?
Yeah, I mean, there's Regina King. We sat and we were talking about days long ago about baggage claim, and Mahershala Ali. I really like him a lot. Yeah, I mean, I just like. I mean, there's a ton. Lyn has her favorites, but for me, I just whatever the role is I'm writing, I kind of look at who I think can bring it to life the most. So I guess I don't really look at the landscape of how all these brilliant actors until I'm writing the character. You know, I'm fans of them from afar, but I don't really kind of zero in to them until I create these characters. And I'm like, well, who could bring that? Oh man, this person could bring that to life. This person could bring that to life. So I kind of reverse engineer when it comes to the actors.
Lyn, what about you?
Well, I mean, I have an all-time favorite, and this is just a childhood thing, and that's Eddie Murphy. Because I don't know, ever since I was little, like my parents let me watch Saturday Night Live, and I just have been addicted to comedy, and so studied it even from being little and listening to my cassette tapes of all of the comedians. And so Eddie Murphy's always been huge. And as David says, a comedian has so much to draw from as far as their dramatic chops. And so when he started having the chance to do films that had Life was like the big one I thought that captured a lot of his drama before he started doing more dramas like he does now. But I'm just a huge Eddie Murphy fan, like my childhood crush. David has gotten me posters and signed posters because we happen to share the lawyer, but that's just one of the things about me. I always still stay a fan because I think it's important to be fresh in that way in this industry. So I'm always one of those that's just still a fan. It doesn't matter if I've met you or worked with you or whatever. And that would be my ultimate. And David, like how he was explaining that story with Tracy, that's one of the things that I get to witness about him always, and we call him the actor's director because he's so great at pulling out performances from people that you wouldn't expect. And a lot of them have an idea of what type of director they think he is until they get in front of him and in front of that camera. And they did not realize how many nuances he brings to the characters that he's written and to their performances. And their performances always end up evolving right before our eyes in front of David. So, that's a huge thing. When people work with him, they're like, Tracy was always yelling, this is my Brett Ratner. This is my Brett Ratner right here. He would always be yelling that. He made me cry, but that's just a real gift that he has. So, anyone would be, gain the pleasure to work with him, on the flip side,
right.
Get something more than you thought it was going to be.
Hey, David, because there's always been a fight in Hollywood for women to shine and get their foot in the door and get these, accolades, the executive producer and producer, has there been a time where you've had to either step back or step up on Lyn's behalf? And has the fact that you guys are partners helped or hampered at any point in time where the studio maybe didn't want her and you were like, no, we're a package deal, or, you know what I mean? Has there been anything like
well,
that?
it's tough always, for Lyn, for anyone who's married to someone who's a director or out front creatively, because it always appears that they're a plus one. And that, oh man, you done messed up somewhere at the house and you're trying to, hook her up to try to make your household better. But in many ways, people don't know that in many ways, I'm Lyn's plus one. And the value that you get from me is because she's been at home before we even got there and helped, when you want to go right, hey, she says, baby, maybe we go a little bit this way. And so that's a challenge for, Lyn, but I make sure people know, and I make sure that she's respected and that she's represented, and that, people have to recognize her value, and they have to compensate her for her value and credit her for her value. And, but, for me, that's an easy thing because all of my references in life were women. I was raised by 3 generations of women. Who reared me, guided me, raised me. And so it's a very natural thing. It doesn't come, I'm not throwing my wife a bone. I'm just recognizing what is and making sure other people recognize it as well.
Absolutely. With Jingle Jangle, and because you've been sitting with it for so long, is there any scene that is completely about you?
I think the whole movie is about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the character Veronica's Jangle, I had to write Jingle Jangle right now because I needed to get in touch again with my inner child, and needed to let him live and come out and live. And I think that what touches a lot of people is I think a lot of people want to get in touch with that inner child and want to find that those days of innocence and where anything was possible and try to tap back into that. But I am the character in Veronica's Jangle is an inventor who had something big for a long time that he had kind of kept in the attic and hadn't pulled it out. And this massive invention, this robot that you see in the film. And when I look at this film for 22 years, it's been in my attic of my hard drive for 22 years.
Wow.
And so everything that I needed to kind of evolve my career to a certain level has been there waiting all along. I just needed to mine it and to believe in it as much as it believed in me. And so the film is a vulnerable journey. Forrest Whitaker is you'll see him as naked emotionally as you maybe have ever seen him. It's a very vulnerable character. And it's about finding your magic again and reconnecting and rediscovering the power within that was always there and has been waiting for you to just wake it up. And so, this film is kind of like where I have always been in my. Now it's there for the world to see, and thank my wife for helping to believe in me, get me to believe in it again, to bring it to where it is now. So it's a lot of me, Les. You'll see it. You know me, and so it's a lot of me. But it's a vulnerable, very emotional, very sweet film that's going to touch a lot of people in amazing ways. I'll let you finish with my wife. I got to go bounce. Somebody got to go put the baby boy to bed. And so, I'm the big softy in the house because I wasn't raised with my father. So, I overcompensated every possible turn. And so Lyn just laughs at us because my son got me wrapped around his finger because he knows I'm the biggest softy on the planet. So I got to put my baby boy to bed. But thank you all.
Thank you. And you know what, David? You know, I got two beautiful daughters, man. And at the end of the day, we do anything for our kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And they will. They will wrap you around the finger real quick, man. Before you know it, you like, wait a minute, hold up.
He owns me. He
Yeah, right.
owns me.
You got me.
That little boy owns me.
Yeah, you be like, hold up, you got me. But you know what? It's all good. It's all
Yep, it's all good. But thank you all. You got the best Talbert here. Thank you all, Les. Love you. Love you. Thank you.
Thank
Pete.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Now Lyn can cut up.
Just a little bit.
It was funny that he spoke about First Sunday, because that was one of the first films that I did backgrounds for. And when I immediately, I was doing background work way back in the day. And
That's awesome.
I immediately saw everybody working behind the cameras, and I was like, yo, I want to do that one day. And then I got into producing, because you guys definitely were like a team, and it was just so great to see you guys work. So
my goodness, that's fantastic. Thank you. What a great story. I'll have to let him know that. Which part were you background on?
It was when he was taking his son, walking him to get to school on the bus.
Yes.
I was literally the girl walking the opposite way, taking like my little sister to school.
Oh my goodness. Let's see, now I got to go back and watch.
Yeah.
See?
So
Wow.
Lyn, since you know that you have budding producers here, why don't you share some of the stories about your journey of getting respect in Hollywood?
Yes, please.
Sure. Well, like David was saying, it's a different experience because, well, one, starting out with producing the plays, it was our thing from the front door to the back door. So we were able to try things without, the powers that be over our heads saying, no, that's not going to work and this and that. We did it. We tried it out. We did it. We're watching the audience response and we're tweaking as we're seeing the responses. So I feel like that is what really prepared us for being able to just do other projects now, do scripts, do novels, do kinds of things, because it was kind of like a make it happen type of thing. And you don't have those big budgets, and you don't have, this just time to do things. You have to be very regimented in what you're doing. Not only creatively, but also on the business side. And so from that perspective, it being our own thing from the beginning, and having David as my husband, this big black guy with a beard, nobody's gonna mess with me too much on set, and if they do, it's something going down, So in that way, it's a little bit different of an experience, but as a woman, I think that it's very important to continue to push your creativity, to try to elevate it, to try to make it better. And I know that we start to gain a tough exterior and start to get a little rough because of the things that we battle or the things that we're challenged with. And some of my friends have ended up becoming very hard, very hard line stance on things, very hard as far as getting things across. And I had to learn, for me, that I could still be my fun-loving self and call bull on something. You know what I mean? And I think just with age, I've learned I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be crazy and fun-loving and have a good time. But when it's about business, we going to handle the business, So you guys have much more access than we had back then, as far as YouTube and streaming services and creating your own shows and creating your own vehicle and creating a brand for yourself, because you can put stuff up, you can try things out, you can do shorts, so whatever you're trying to do it. Get your friends together, put Les in this skit, put Pee Wee in the skit, whatever it is, and create that vehicle. If it's a show about a podcast and what the things you're going through, and all the stuff that you're doing, and create these projects and scripts and keep doing it. The more you do it, the better you get. So I always recommend pushing and doing it, but be yourself. Be authentic in who you are and your experience, and share that, because no one can be a better you than you. So that's what makes it original and authentic, is that it's authentically coming from you.
Lyn, if you go back, what you know now, the Lyn that you know now, and you go back to the Lyn that just started, that's just starting off, what advice would you give that Lyn?
Oh my goodness, that's so funny you asked that, Pee Wee, because I've thought about this. The one thing is, because I came into this when I was 23 years old. I couldn't even rent a car to pick up the cast from the airport because you had to be 25.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, with no cell phones, with no, with no navigation, I'm on the streets of New York figuring out how to get to the Beacon Theater. You know what I'm saying? So one thing I would definitely tell the younger me is, with what David said about how you're kind of looked at as the plus one, that's what has been kind of a tough road for me, is because of my natural ability to just do and make things work and we'll figure it out and I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the credit, but it was very important to have it. And I didn't know that, because I'm just trying to make the work better. I'm trying to make the project better. I'm trying to make the experience better for my cast and that the studio feels like it's a great experience that they're having with us so that we can do more. I'm trying to open doors. I'm trying to hire folks, and I'm doing all of that. But because I was just I didn't pay attention to that. It is important that I get this credit because it's going to help me in the next project. It's going to set a precedent. It is important that I'm compensated separately, from David, because that is going to set a quote, that is going to set a precedent. So that is what I would tell my younger self, because I did not know and did not realize the importance of it. I was focused on the work. So that's, I think, the big thing. And David, amazingly, he has fought for me and I so appreciate that, but he shouldn't have had to do that. He shouldn't have to do that. And, that's the thing behind it. But thankfully this time around, Netflix saw everything and actually acknowledged all of that and changed some things around because of what they saw I did, which has never been done. I am the lead producer on this film, PGA, my company, thank you. My company, Golden Girl, is, along with everyone else who produced this film. So that really touched me because, again, they did not have to do it because of precedent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Netflix to me has gone against all the rules. Even though the timing seems perfect when it's coming out, they said yes when it wasn't popular. We were in London for 8 months just shooting. That's how long this type of project takes. So this has been a 2-year put together of a piece like this. These Star Wars movies and Star Trek and all, it takes years because you're creating these characters, CGI characters, from scratch. You're building visual worlds within computer screens to make it look real. And it is no joke, but it's phenomenal. And it has opened my eyes to a whole new world and a whole new way to make films,
Be like college for you all over again.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a fan of it and I've studied it. I always watch the making ofs and documentaries and things like that from filmmakers that I'm a fan of, or even projects that I'm a fan of. I want to know how they did it. I order the scripts. I go through everything. I look at the action lines. And these are things that producers should do also. Look at projects that have spoken to you, get the script, sit there and read it along when you're watching the project as well. Look at the action lines, look at the different things, see if there are behind the scenes that you can watch or talk to other people that have been part of the filmmaking process, so that alone Dave and I always talked about, we wanted to do some animation, we wanted to have CGI characters, we wanted to do all that, so it was something that was always, how are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? How are we going to do it? And when we finally did, it was like to be in that space. Like, we're working with people that did Harry Potter. I'm on computer Zooms and we're creating and crafting these characters. Someone's in Montreal, someone's in Brazil, someone's in Italy, someone's in France. It's insane. In the UK, it's insane. And what we find is we're more alike than we are different. And
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? We want the same things. We want the same things for our family, for our kids, and we should have the same opportunity to tell original stories in this light, just like anybody else, So I'm really grateful to be able to have this original piece that I feel will be a part of the holidays forever, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure of that, so that's the whole thing behind it.
Going through your journey, I mean, you've accomplished so much. I mean, I know within even Hollywood and within the career field itself, there comes a lot with disappointments. I mean, what makes you continue to strive, even though you've accomplished so much? I mean, I know it's good and bad, but what keeps you going as far as coming through experiences as, like, I don't know if you've ever been disappointed as meeting someone that you truly looked up to and then they failed to disappoint you. How does that make you feel up, and then fast forwarding it to now?
Right. That's a good point, because that has happened to me. And I am a person that's very affected, and Les knows this about me, where, it's part of my makeup. Like, I feel like we always say, like, you can't affect someone unless you've been affected. And so, I can't show someone a certain emotion if I haven't experienced that emotion, I feel. So there has been times that I've met certain people or had certain experience on set that weren't the best, and for no particular reason, which is kind of crazy, just be it that person's personality or whatever. And, I'm like, wow, that's not what I was expecting, and like really disappointed. And then you have to spend this whole time dealing with this energy. And it was actually my mom, I had to like share with her, what happened with the person. And I threw away the person's books and all these types of things, that because I was just like, I cannot believe the real person is nothing like, what they expect. And she said, did you get something out of that? And I said, yes. And she said, well, if you got something out of those books that you read and all of that, and you've been able to apply, then you just take that and you throw the rest away. So I was like, that's a good point. You're right. So that's what I've been trying to do along the way, just taking that and throwing the rest away. Only when it's been something like really malicious where I don't understand you, like somebody just hating because they hating. That's a little bit harder to get past, I feel. And again, it's not in my nature to be so, and David says this, like, he's soft when it comes to our son, but I'm soft when it comes to the business, and when it comes to creating, and creating things. And so I get very affected. And it sometimes takes me years to not let something like that, something malicious, affect me. I'm learning to manage it, where I could put it aside, but something can come up and trigger. And I'm just like, oh, it just like, you feel that pain in your heart and you're just like, oh, ouch. So I think it makes us human, and I have to look at the good, in life and in general, and my blessings to push me through it. And one of the things in this film, like one of the songs is called Square Root of Possible in the film. And so that's been my mantra throughout this, is like, what's my square root of possible? What's all of our square root of possible? What's our formula to make things possible for us? And that's just what I've been sticking with. And I'll find things like that. I love audiobooks. I love, things like that to kind of just help me through and push me through. But it's like anything is possible. as far as I'm concerned. And I'm just gonna keep pushing for that.
In uprooting yourself to London and taking on this mega film, how is it that you've now put on the hat of author and you have these books, these children's books that are coming to accompany the film? What, Superwoman? Talk about it.
Well, it wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. And, you know, the whole thing is like, I think you always have to look at big picture. At the end of the day, I mean, I'm not reinventing the wheel. You know, Disney's been doing toys and books and all kinds of things with their films for years, right? So to me, it was just a no-brainer, but how do I get people on board? So I was fortunate enough to where, you know, Penguin Random House totally got it when, you know, we pitched it over to them. And they were like, let's do it. You know, all I showed them was a sizzle. We didn't even, you know, really show them everything yet, but they saw Madeline, you know, the girl that plays Journey in the film, and they saw this whole big scope of things, and it was very raw. And it was the same conversation where it's like, we need something that features us, that our kids can look at, that reflects who they are. At the same time, it's, you know, for everyone, for all children, they are seeing how the world looks, you know, and it's featuring our hair and featuring our skin tones and different things like that. But in this childlike world, you know, so we did the picture book, Square Root of Possible, which was based on the song. And I actually have the lyrics of that song in the back of that book. We did a middle grade book that's called The Invention of Jingle Jangle, and that's for the 10 and up age. And that book, I did an audio of that Phylicia Rashad is reading. So, wow. Yeah, so it's a real full circle moment. Yeah, and she's killing the game. So it's a real full circle moment. You know, they're available for pre-order and they'll come out on December 1st. But I want to do more. I want to do toys. You know, I want Jingle Jangle to be a part of our holidays forever, you know, worldwide. This movie is being translated in 32 languages.
Hello, let's go.
I didn't know there was 32 languages. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing trailers in French, in German, you know, in Italian, and it's not subtitles. They literally are translating. So they're talking, you know, when Forrest is talking, when Phylicia is talking, you know, that's some serious stuff right there.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Not crying.
Yeah.
Your baby just blasting out the world already.
Right. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, but it's so important. You know, we have original stories to tell, and yeah, it's great to do the remakes, but that doesn't guarantee success, and you don't have to always redo an IP. We need original stuff. You know, I'm tired of the remakes. You know, I'm tired of that's cool, but we need to have original content on big stages, you know?
So Jingle Jangle is coming out, is it November or December?
November 13th.
November 13th, okay.
Yep.
So we got to make sure that we push that, let everybody know. Netflix, it is going down. Jingle Jangle, November. Be looking out for it.
Yep.
Set your cue now. Once you see it on Netflix, set your cue.
Set your cue. It's on there now. You can go there right now and you can say remind now.
Set that cue. Lyn, before we get up out of here, I do this thing called 5 for 5.
Okay.
And inside the 5 for 5, it's either a one gotta go or would you rather.
Okay.
It's one of the two, but it's 5 for 5. And we're going to play it with you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Lyn, 5 for 5, one gotta go. This gentleman has done a song for you guys in one of your movies. So I said, it's only right to put him inside the one gotta go. So, John Legend, inside the one gotta go. John Legend or Brian McKnight, which one gotta go?
Brian McKnight.
He wasted.
That's easy.
I know that's right. 'Cause he ain't in the song.
That's easy right there.
She was no hesitation. I'm with you. In their prime, absolutely in their prime, the peak of their career, Janet Jackson or Beyonce, which one got to go?
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey.
Okay. I'm going to have to say Beyonce. Now, this is because my era now. This is my era, you know, because we might get another Beyonce, because if it wasn't for Janet, there'd be no Beyonce, right? There'd be no Sierra, there'd be no, I mean, we can name a few. So Janet is the catalyst, you know? So I'm gonna have to say, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say Beyonce. I love you, Beto.
There it is. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right, Lyn, inside the 5 for 5, would you rather have honesty, communication, chemistry, or trust?
Honesty, because I don't want you communicating no lies. I don't want the chemistry to be some lies, you know? Honesty.
Honesty, there it is. Okay, all right. Lyn, inside the 5 for 5, one got to go. You said gentleman is your favorite actor, Eddie Murphy. And gentleman has been in your films also. I'm gonna stick with comedians.
Okay.
Tracy Morgan, one got to go. Eddie Murphy or Tracy Morgan?
Tracy Morgan gotta go. I ain't never giving up Eddie. If it wasn't for Eddie, there'd be no Tracy. So I love you, Tracy, but
Yeah. I'm just trying to make it all come together. That's all.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
That's it. Last one inside one gotta go. You guys have done a lot of films, and in these films, one gotta go. First Sunday, Baggage Claim, Almost Christmas, or we're gonna throw in Jingle Jangle. One gotta go.
okay, one of the films just have to go.
One of the films.
Almost Christmas, First Sunday, Jingle Jangle, or Baggage Claim?
Claim.
Okay, I gotta keep First Sunday because that was the first one. Gotta keep Baggage Claim.
Uh-oh.
Ew. Oh God.
Uh-oh.
One has to go. Yikes. You know what? I'm gonna have to let Baggage Claim go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
Huh? Hey,
Even though I don't want to, but
I see you was hesitant on it, and which means that each one of these movies that you guys have done, you guys have loved them dearly to the heart. And I saw you was trying to figure out, you was trying to weigh it out. But all of them are great movies, that you guys have done. But this is part of the game.
Yes.
One gotta go. So yeah.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Les.
No, I just figured she picked the one that probably grossed the least. Like if you had to
think about that, Liz. I didn't think about that.
Hey, Tasha, did you have a producer question you wanted to ask? I saw you itching.
I mean, I just love everything that she's done so far. You've definitely hit the nail on the head. You inspired a lot of females such as myself to be great producers, and definitely to get your credit. I've done so many projects like you. I was just passionate about working. I was passionate about the project, and I definitely did not get my credit or compensated as much as possible on some of the projects I did. So I am so glad that you said that, and I can't wait to watch this new movie. I'm excited.
I'm so glad. Yeah, and I think I think the credit is even more important than the compensation sometimes.
It is.
You can negotiate that as like, look, you put me on, make me a associate producer, co-producer, whatever, and then when something else comes up, you bring me in, give me it's definitely ways to negotiate. And I didn't realize how much my relationships have worked so well even now, just by, you know, nurturing them and cultivating them. So, and nurture your relationships. That's huge. You know, old school style, write a thank you, you know, all of that is not just the email anymore, because I feel like when you take the time to do some of that stuff, it means a lot. Check in with folks that you want to work with, keep checking in, because there's been stuff that has paid off for me a year later.
Yeah.
That I've just like every week. I mean, I remember even baggage claim, the person I met on a flight at a film festival, and I emailed her every week for a year.
Wow.
And we're supposed to meet so many times or hook up or have lunch or whatever, and something happened, and come to find out she had gone through this huge like divorce and all these things within this year. And then another email went in, and I got a ping back, and she's like, Lyn, I'm so sorry. She's like, let's hook this up, you know, let's do this again. And from that, we got baggage claim made.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Well, in that
Beautiful.
case, I'm shooting my shot. I'm going to be
Yes.
emailing you. I'm going to work with you. So
I'm here.
Let's go.
You know, it ain't but a few degrees of separation. So anything you want to know, you know, you tell Les. I'll be happy to help you with whatever. I mean, that's what we do. You know, Les knows. We always
So that's exactly what y'all do. They uplift everybody in Hollywood. And I'm going to have my own private little screening party November 13th. When it comes out on Netflix. Hey!
Yes, Jingle Jangle parties everywhere.
Let's go.
So proud of you. So happy for you. Thank you and David for coming by. You guys are my family. And Hollywood loves you. America's going to love this film. And it's going to be like a Christmas staple for real, for real.
Thank you, Les. Thank you. I love you so much. Thank you guys for having me. This was a great time. A lot of fun.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lyn, hold on one second. I want to get a drop from you before you get out for the show. But ladies and gentlemen, be looking out. Jingle Jangle, November 13th, Netflix. Make sure right now, it's in the queue right now. So queue it up. Let them know, tell your friends, you know what I'm saying? Because we got to support, and we going to support. So we need y'all to do that too. All right, man. For J. Tasha, K. Stephanie, Big Les, I'm your man, Bigg Pwee, and a big shout out to our special guests, David and Lyn Talbert. Thank you guys so much. We are The Spin Room. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see y'all soon. All right, peace.
Yeah, you are now live